Welcome to our meeting for 2016, our CFO's meeting, operations meeting, chief executive meeting. Thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for being here, in attendance in the room. Everybody has the agenda, I trust, or at least they've seen it. With that, the meeting's been called to order. I wanted Robert to give a synopsis of the last meeting, but Robert is not here, so I will ask whoever's meeting next week to defer that responsibility to Robert, because we need to make sure that he is doing his part to remain abreast. Even if he's not here, he needs to be watching the videos and knowing what's going on in the company, even if he's not making the meeting for work reasons or for kind of personal related reasons. So with that, we are actually going to, I guess we'll have Brandon give us a recollection of the last meeting, if you don't mind, Brandon.
Sure. In a nutshell, all the thing that we really did was that we did discuss a number of things, but the primary things that I take away from it was that we are going to be discussing about our financial situation, how we can improve for the remainder of this year. We've been asked to have goals, what our goals are going to be, our individual goals for our department, but also the goals as a whole and what we expect from one another, kind of like as an accountability measure. We talked about our call logs, well, not our call logs, but our personal logs that we're supposed to be using to track our own information, to track what we're supposed to be doing, and how we can steady improve. So it's like a self-improvement tool that our CEO suggested that we have, and our CFO suggests that we continue to use and apply daily. Another thing that we also discussed besides that, as far as giving our current uh, PowerPoints that we are going to have whenever we host our uh, team meetings. Another thing we discussed was when we're going to be going up to New York soon, and who we're going to be meeting when we get to New York, and how we're going to be handling that situation. So that's pretty much all we discussed, and that's a brief synopsis of last week.
All right. That sounds like a great synopsis, and I believe it's pretty concise in accordance to how the meeting proceeded last week. All those to propose that this meeting be noted as as read, please say aye
Aye.
or no.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. All right. Our CFO is consented. With that, it's official. At some juncture, I would like for us to have a secretary, that's supposed to be on my list of things to do. Whenever we get a secretary, I will have them go back and record our meetings so we can have these in time for posterity. So they'll transcribe the finer points and the major points of the videos and put them into our logs. So that's something that we'll continue to develop on. With that, we're going to move on to section 4 under segment A, which is opening the meeting. Does anyone have any proposals that this agenda be amended, or do we accept it as read or as noted?
I accept it as read as noted.
Okay. As the CEO, he also concurs. All right. So motive B. Segment B. Let's talk about our fiscal report and overview of the books. Who's seen the books? Raise your hand. Ding in. Okay, you guys have seen the books. Anything noticeable in the books?
From what I've read, it's not.
Okay.
From what I read, it hasn't been totally updated to this year. No one's really made any serious deposits. I know I haven't for sure from what I saw. The deposits primarily been made by our CFO, the $500, and I see $135. And money that's been coming in, I have not seen where that's documented, but money's been coming in from Robert as to what our expense is supposed to be. But I don't see any more contributions for the rest of us as far as this quarter and this year for operating expenses. That's what I've noticed primarily.
Okay. Sam, have you noticed anything when you looked over the books?
Honestly, I noticed too as Brandon, but what I noticed is that that's okay because we'll get to that. But I have no issues with it.
Okay. Thank you for that, CEO. Um, Now, what I noticed when I looked over the books at this juncture, I'm going to engage in the screen share. So stand by, go into audio mode, prepare to listen for just a second while I just briefly kind of go over what your company's financial position is at this juncture. So stand by while I'm moving to the screen share. Okay, this is what we want to look at. Okay, you guys should be seeing, okay, our journal entries. What we're looking at here is is this the most current?
It doesn't seem to look like it because it's not been. It doesn't look like it's been updated that much because you didn't put in how
This
much money that Robert has put in compared to how much money we ought to put in. So
okay,
I have
thanks.
not seen.
That journal entry right there is not the most that's up to date. I don't know why. Let me go back into the drive and
Oh,
pull out this because this may be it should have been updated. This is not the updated set of logs books. Okay, let's see. This this is the one that's I actually checked this one up and I thought with the opening date that was the newest one, but the one that's the actual the ones that the books that have been updated are loading. Okay, here we go. We're looking at a journal entry. I'm not an accountant, but I have to be an accountant for the company. So with that, I have to practice accounting measures and methods. There are some technical aspects to accounting, and some of those include basically you have overall two forms of accounting. You have an indirect method of accounting, and you have a direct method of accounting. What we're looking at is what's pretty much called consolidated, which may be which is considered like a hybrid version. So all these are within the general accepted and accounting principles, which is the governing body for all accountants and for corporations. Which yes, there's like a governmental body that says every company's books should look relatively the same, or they should reflect the same information. So all of our information that should be, excuse me, how our information should be portrayed is portrayed. Now with that, we're looking at what's happened in November, excuse me, yes, October, December, and then January. Your journal entry is everything that has happened with the money on December, excuse me, on September, October. First, we had an initial investment. On October 2nd, we had the incorporation fee reimbursed to the CEO, assuming the chief operations officer, who was at that point assuming the role of the CEO. And then we had more accounting.
Philip, can you
Yes,
hear me? I just want
yes,
to
I
say
can hear
that let's not lose track of the initial $500 investment to become incorporated. That's to be reimbursed also by four-way split. Remember we spoke about that.
you. Okay, I actually didn't get you because of the noise that's in the background, but basically I'm letting everybody know that this is what you should be looking at. These are all the journal entries, and they have to go as it happens. If we spend 1 cent, it needs to be indicated that we spent 1 cent, when it was spent, and why it was spent. T accounts in this tab over here. Standby is loading.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So what I just wanted to say is that remember that initial $500 investment that we spent towards or you came out of pocket and spent towards us filing as a company, that is to be
Yeah.
reimbursed as well and split four ways. and that's something that we're going to write into a mutual agreement and a contract, so that it evens out the ownership, not just in stocks, but initial investments, so that every time we come out of pocket for something or a cost, it's whoever, like if you have $500 and we don't, that's always to be backtracked and then to be reimbursed by us 4 ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. At this point, though, we're not talking about personal monies. We're talking about like corporate money. So we took $135 of the corporate money.
No, I know.
And
I just wanted to address that because I was saying it and y'all couldn't hear me.
okay, all right, thanks. I appreciate that. Sam basically says that I put in actually more than $500, but $800, and eventually everybody will catch up. And we'll talk a little bit about evening out this difference in time, as everyone can with some form of agreement. But here, the initial investment we see on the assets and liabilities and the owner's equity. This is just more accounting tools that have to be noted and maintained. So when I'm doing books, this is what I'm doing. I'm going back to recall all the money that we spent. If we spent it on the asset, was it a liability, or was it a percent of our owner's equity? Here, I'm also required to track the income statement. The income statement is all the money that comes in. It's not necessarily where it goes, but where the money that comes in. We have no money from sales reported September, October, November, December, or January. Cost of goods sold, we have none of that. Gross profit, we have none of that. Our money comes in SG&A, which is called your selling, general, and administrative expenses. It's also includes salary. So here we have the $135 that was reimbursed. Noted. Here we have the $45 in November that was spent on our website. Negative nine. No. We had our new partners, and we took our new partners out, and we spent $45. Here we spent money for our website, and here we spent money on getting some corporate supplies, which is noted under the SG&A. And here's our balance. So we started off in the month of September with negative $135. On September, on October 1st, I put money into the account. When I opened up the account at the bank, and I reimbursed myself with $135. So of course, it brought us in the even, but so of course, it took away from our $500 here, which was our income. Here we see the other income. The income was $500, and then we had no income in November. We had no income in December. But the money that we had left over from our purchasing the website for the month of December, and then purchasing our corporate equipment, which is our stocks. Our stock certificates and some other documents that Robert actually has in his care. Basically, our corporate startup kit. And then here's our website, which comes out to be $4.91 a month for 12 months. So we see it going across here. That's our website for the year. It's paid up. It's a prepaid expense. But anyway, it left us with $180. That $180 was rolled over into a secured product, which I added $320 to, which made us have $500 bank credit, which is actually a section of our owner's equity, but that will be noted later on our balance sheet. So let's see, the balance sheet is loading, but as you guys can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces of financial documents I have to maintain. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time, but it's what has to be done, and we'll talk a little bit more about that during the presentation. But here's our balance sheet. Our current assets. What do we have in our assets? These are all cash. This is the cash as this is this reflects the movement of the cash. It reflects all the rest of the sheets. $365, $321. And I believe also here I've noted in the red, which no one actually I guess was looking at, but here this notes that our books are off by 51 cents. And why our books why are our books off 51 cents? Our books are off 51 cents because here we introduced share capital. Here we introduced the idea of us all owning the stock, and the stock at par value is 0.01 cents. With us having 51 shares and 51% of the company out, that leaves us with a 51-cent balance that has not been paid to the company. So that is where our 51 cents, our books are off by 51 cents because we have 51 shares out at 1 cent. And so our books right now are out of balance. And as we see here, and they got the off balance in, let me see, this was September, October, November, December, and January. So for the last 4 months, our books have been off balance. And as we move into February, we hope that of course, will be mitigated, that'll be fixed. Cash receipts and disbursements is the next sheet that has to be maintained. Here we have the money that comes into the company, and here we have the money that has left the company. In September, we had $135 come into the company, but it put the company's cash into the negative by $135. And our ending balance was a negative $135. October, here's the balance at the beginning of October, it was negative $135. A direct investment of $500 plus the 51 that our books are off at this point. And everybody can take the time to kind of look over that a little bit more in details. These are our books. These are the statement of cash flows. This is a little more complicated. This is something that takes time. So actually, I mean, it's like I should be working on one of these sheets a week. And even if I did one of these sheets a week, it still wouldn't balance up. So I'd have to do 1.5 of these a week, which it always changes. So with that, I'm going to close this out. But because the information changes and it always moves, because one thing has to be fed into another and it goes in and out, you can't necessarily do it just like, 1.5 week. You have to do it all kind of at the same time. So with that, anyway, that's the state of our finances. We know that we have a deficit of 51 cents. Our books are off at this point. And with that, we will make that correction in time. And that actually concludes the first general brief. Fiscal and fiduciary responsibility. Brandon touched briefly on that in the beginning. I was talking about how, of course, what he noticed there was some fiscal discrepancies which we're going to balance out. Sam followed up and said, you know what, we're going to develop means and we're going to get that together and get it taken care of, and we are going to get that owner's equity spread out to where the costs that aren't heavily burdened on one particular individual. At this point, I'm not hurting. Somebody's got to lead, and fiscal and fiduciary. Does anyone know what a fiduciary is? Brandon, you know what a fiduciary is?
You're talking about the it's basically a financial rules and regulations, like legalities surrounding around finance, or is that
There's nothing. Okay, Sam.
I just want to say, remember, gentlemen, I've been a business developer for 11 years plus more, but I don't know the titles for the terms. But if you give me a definition, I know it. I might not know the meaning that. I might not know the definition. I know the definition without knowing what defines it. You know what I mean? So, like, if you tell me fiduciary, I won't know that. But if you break it down, I'll know that intimately because I've done it.
You mean like a trustee then? Like a trustee, like people who are entrusted with the finances?
That's what a fiduciary is. The fiduciary says, basically, yes, it's not all financially related. You and I, we're all fiduciaries of INTAH CORP. We are the parental trustees, and INTAH CORP is our principal. Basically, it is our ward. So we have fiscal and we have fiduciary responsibilities, and there's a difference. They're not the same. And of course, we understand when we take care of our fiscal responsibilities, we are taking care of our fiduciary responsibilities. Fiduciary doesn't necessarily always relate to finances, but it just relates to how well you, as basically it says, you are the person who is in charge. So with us being the persons that are in charge, I'm just saying that, let us assume our fiscal and our fiduciary responsibilities, and which we are as owners, we are given that title or that place, but we must assume um, those titles and those responsibilities. Okay, we've identified at least the definition of it. Some of the obstacles. Let's talk about some of the obstacles to our fiduciary and financial responsibilities. What's the holdup on the? I guess yeah, on those in general. I mean, what do we have to say for ourselves here?
In reference to what exactly? We're talking about operating expense, why we're not investing much money, if any at all. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yes, that's what I mean. What are the obstacles that we have as individuals to fulfilling our our fiduciary and financial responsibilities?
I think one obstacle could be just the fact that it's going to come down to, well, everybody has their own level of finances. It may just come down to when do you willing to make time to pump the money into their account, and how much are you willing to pump in every month, and are you willing to make a private agreement amongst the group that you're willing to pump in this much money per month or per week. Like Robert is supposedly pumping in $10 a week. It comes out to $40 a month. So if each of us were willing to literally, legitimately commit to either automatic withdrawal or keep a reminder to say, well, at least do, at least do half of that, maybe to like $20 a month into the operating expense, that could be something to do.
Okay, Brandon, since you spoke up, what are your obstacles?
Honestly, I just have not taken the time to put in the account information that you sent to us via our phones into my banking establishment to link the accounts together to pump the money in. That's all that is. I have
Okay,
not linked it together. That's my obstacle. I haven't linked it together.
okay. As you can see, we're on the carpet. Sam, what are your obstacles to fulfilling your
I have
fiduciary
to,
and fiscal responsibilities?
I have to just do it and hold on a second, guys. Hold on. That's what I'm trying to get past right there. They all dancing over there. So give me this to get outside. It's Friday and they're having fun. All right, so in order for me to at this point pump in $10, $200, I don't know, $1,000 a month, whatever is necessary, I've already committed to the $10 a week. For me at this point, it's not about pumping in the money. It's just a matter of setting up so it's auto debited weekly. I have to do that hopefully between now and Sunday. I will do that between now and Sunday, but um, and again, Phil, I'll give you some updates this Sunday on our call. I've been coordinating 100 taxi driver and a 1200 taxi ownership conventions coming up for primary investors. So it's just been, day to day, the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, just not having the time. That's the only reason why things aren't pumped in right now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for answering my questions. It was just a question that the company needs to know. Brandon says I haven't taken the time. Sam says I haven't had the time. Okay. Well, we hope that you gentlemen find the time to fulfill your responsibilities to the corporation. Thank you very much. Next, bit of business. Brandon, looks like the meeting's going to go over by. And for that, I'm have to apologize. If we're not giving the company our money, we're going to have to give it our time. Let's move into the PowerPoint. Let's go to the PowerPoint and talk about our finance model and how we are going to move into licking this thing for 2016 and what everybody can do to help. If you have to leave, because of any previous or private, other engagements, then by all means do what you have to do. That does not mean that the information that is posted you will not be held accountable for in the future. So
Can you,
do whatever you
can
have
you,
to do.
Philip? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So what I just want to say is that great model, awesome, follow through, follow up. You said he was doing this. Great execution of it. All we have to do is just like, and this is something I realize, we just have to say, hey, in our casual, friendly checkups in each other. Hey, did you have time to set up your auto debit for that yet? Oh, okay, great. How's the kids? So like we just have to get in the habit of incorporating reminders to each other to watch each other's backs because we all get busy, but we talk to each other all the time. Like I haven't spoken to Brandon a couple of weeks other than his calls, but I'm gonna start too soon for some things coming up in March and April. And in those conversations, when we know we're going to talk to each other, let's just throw out these things out there. That's a little housekeeping, a little watching each other's backs.
Okay, thanks. And I'm pretty sure you'll relay the information again and reiterate that once upon a time. I'll see you one more time when we get into the next segment of the agenda, segment C. But while we're still in segment B, we're going to focus on the financial model here for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share. Okay, here we go. INTAH CORP, our preconceived logo. All right. Uh-oh. Slideshow. Sorry, gentlemen. My apologies. I opened up the wrong. Okay. Stand by. INTAH CORP. INTAH CORP files. INTAH CORP finance. Okay, so let's go back to the screen share. Okay, here we go. This is not like all the stuff running in the background. Okay, can you guys can see the PowerPoint, right? Still transmitting?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
we
great.
see it.
Thank you.
I don't see
Thank
the
you.
PowerPoint on yours, but I see
Oh,
it
you
on mine. No, if you just walk, I have the PowerPoint put up on mine. All you have to do is break it down. Now, actually your stuff is self-explanatory. So if you just like to give an overview, that'd be great because I'm already reading it. I can understand most of it. Now, when you get to certain slides, I'll have certain questions for you. But
I'm
other
okay,
looking
than
at it
so
that,
also. I can see it on my iPad.
you can see it on your iPad?
yeah, he can see it. I can see it. We can. I mean, I already have it pulled up. All you have to do is explain the concepts as you break them down. And you don't have to give it too detailed per slide. The slide already has it. You just give an overview of what you need and break down the concepts. And then as we go through, I'll let you know which slides I need to say, hold up, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that?
Okay, well Sam says he has it and I'm not sharing. Am I not sharing? Still not sharing? Brandon.
Yeah, you're sharing. I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You're
Okay.
sharing with me.
Okay. All right, well great. Here's our first slide, cover slide. Okay, let's talk about finances real quick. This is the most important thing, I guess, to start off here right now is that finance is the craft and science of no resource management. Key word being no. Everybody typically starts off with no resources. So that's where we are. Like everybody else, the bottom floor, ground zero. We have no financials. We have no values. There's nothing personal. The point of this slide is to let you guys know that, of course, there's a technical aspect to finance and it's a scientific aspect. It is abstract and it's concrete. What my job to do here is this is what I have to do. This is what I balance. This is my job. This is what I take seriously, and this is what I do. You might find 10 words, or maybe 15 words on this page, but there's a world of context for every word. My job is to balance our obligation to the public and my obligation to the company. I have to maximize profits while minimizing the risk. I have to make sure the long-term gains overshadow our desirable short returns. For that, it requires us to credit, balance growth, not necessarily minimize it, balance it, increase sales, and owner's equity. All these things are in motion constantly. Constantly. Even though it might take 2 minutes to sit down, maybe an hour, or maybe a week to see numbers on paper, but all this stuff is constantly happening. It's always constantly in motion. My goal in 2016 as the CFO is to make sure that as time moves forward, as volatility in the environment, political shifts, changes in competition, yes, that is competition. I misspelled that. In spite of how these factors may increase, my job is to make sure that our stock still manages to grow. Now, here's where, like I said, it's not personal, but there's processes in this in my job, in my position that require control, and there's sometimes there are processes that require me to lead, or for all of us to lead and to do our part. But some of these require my active control. Determine how to spend the money. It is not what we spend money on. My job is not to determine what we spend the money on. My job is to determine how to spend the money. My job is to determine how and to assess the risks and the profits. My job is to, okay, I just simplified, and assess the risks to our international border, which is public. As far as leading, and my job is also there on the other side of things is to lead the process in funding our overhead. Not for me to assume it or anything to assume anything, but to just lead the processes. Lead the processes of accounting. Now, if I have all the accounting knowledge or if I'm doing all the accounting work, how do I get to lead it? Or what happens to everybody else in the process? Everybody has a part to play in this accounting. You guys don't realize it, but in time, you will see that there's a part for everyone to play. Determining acceptable costs. It's my job to lead the process in how we determine acceptable losses. Not to determine which losses are acceptable, but to help determine losses but acceptable in the process and process of compliance. My strategy for 2016 is to get the full support stockholders, raise capital, and then increase our spending and cash flow. My strategic objectives and measures require me to have the full stockholder support. And when I say stockholders, that is defined as stockholders permitting the CFO full authority act through one single resolve and let it be unimpeded. And my one single resolve is to think and act with one single-minded goal. That is the international purchase order. That is us going public. Only then will we be able to get rich. Is when we can sell our stock and our value is our price and how much we let go to the public and how much we're going to sell our own personal stock for it if if it's your prerogative. That I need the resolution to grant the CFO the authority. I need CFO to help build the finance models that increase our internal and external leverage. Now, that requires, as I noted here, and exercise some things that are inherently and unavoidably dangerous rules. I just want to have to help make sure that the rules are
Hello?
played by. That means, hello?
Keep going.
Um, okay. The second resolve is to allow the CFO, I need company and our stockholders to allow the CFO to manage the tools, like I said, and in the hand of equity, debt, negative free cash flow, fixed assets, etc. You guys find out, what all this stuff, everyone knows that debt has a bad pain, but debt is a part of financing and moving our company forward. Negative free cash flow that determining what might happen if they are held within a company's position, that those things are added to our books and retained within the company. Some of us might have computers, laptops, whatever. We might have phones, whatever. We want to give them to import, and all that makes the value of the company increase. Those are examples of fixed assets, some of it including land. I'm not necessarily saying that when mom dies, that you give the house over to import, but if you happen to do that, our job is to make sure that those fixed assets remain in operation. Or if somebody gives us something, that we retain it. The final resolve is that our course have the power and ability to prioritize healthy bookkeeping and accounting and spending and free cash flow. This means occasionally calling special meetings, working in relationship with our banks and Wells Fargo, to many other banks, supporters of the fintech industry. I mentioned this a long time ago. We don't want to just support one bank. We want to stop. We want to make a deal. That's my job. I want to do it. Stay out of my way. Let me do my job, and we're going to get where we need to be. Now, it's a complicated thing. It's not always easy, but I have these microchips here because all of this stuff happens all at the same time. You got electrons and we have ideas, we have money, we have egos, we have not enough time, we have family, we have all these things flowing through our company simultaneously. With all that stuff happening, my job is still to see through all that, clean all that, keep it all to the side, keep it square, clean, and cut. Manage our free money, and continue to build our capital structure. And now our capital structure is weak, but we can strengthen our capital structure. And the Sam says finance is like a bag of tricks. It's my job to be basically Merlin the magician and the bag, pull out the right thing we need. If we don't need it, put it back in the bag, keep going until I find the right doohickey, dingo hopper, whatever you want to call it, the right gizmo that's going to get us over the edge, get to the point where we need to be. Private PP&E, plans, parts, and equipment, like I said, whatever private assets we might want to make sure that those values realized and that it is placed within the hands of the company and that we use that to continue to fuel the company. External financing, loans, lines of credit, bonds, receipts of paper. Those are the piece of paper. There are other financial tools that I'm learning about that I'm going to continue to always learn about because that's my job is to do. I'm not going to learn everything, so I have to learn as much as I can because other people have used these tricks to their companies where they need to be. So it's my job to make sure that I have all these tricks. And with that, like I said here, ask questions, look skeptical, don't take everything for face value. Look into the facts. Ask me questions. Ask me what's going on. Get into the books. Let me know, whatever. So, everybody's got to do their part to make sure, there's accountability. That's the hard part of accountability. Right? Nobody wants to steal the money. And all those things in the time of the book. I'm not saying that I'm a dishonest person, but we all want to make sure that, we are honest. And like I said, with that, Let's all stay in our lane. I have mine. Everybody needs to carve out theirs and understand theirs. We all have our positions, we all have our places. Learn your place, know your place, master your place, and swim in your place. Don't go in everybody else's space. But focus on your space and strengthen the company by having that knowledge and bringing it to us and letting us know how it's going to get us where we need to be. And I'm just going to go over to this slide up here at the top. Like I said, no financials, no value is nothing personal. We have to have our financials and stuff like that in order. The books are very important. If we don't have our books right, nobody will talk to us. No one will take us seriously. Our companies, nobody's going to acknowledge us as being players in the game. So we have to have our books and stuff in order. That requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of me working the sign, understanding signs, learning the technical craft. But I'm not going to get too much into operations. And like I said, this is not meant to be personal, but everybody needs to understand the science of their section. Everyone needs to understand the technical craft of their section. So, and with that, bring it to the forefront. Let everybody know, this isn't personal. This is my job. It's my job for the company. What are you doing? Where are you at? And, I need your help, or what can I do to help you? It's like, I have my job. It's also my job to make sure what can I do to help everybody else. And that concludes my goals for 2016. Everybody has it, and they can use it, or ask me questions as they need, about it. Now, my report for finance. Robert's here. Sam's still in the place. Brandon was here first. It's a meeting, so Brandon will go down the line. Can you give your report for the week?
I don't understand what you're saying, brother. You've been cutting in and out the whole time. What?
Okay, I was saying, what was your? We'll move on to the next segment of the agenda. What is your report for the week? I did my report, so now we're going to go down the line and get the rest of the reports from the rest of the partners.
Okay. Positive accomplishments. It's just the fact that up to this point, according to our CFO, we need to be looking into data management programs or systems that would be most effective for us to chart what we're doing, to chart our system, to see who all has been in there, who hasn't, who's all working on what projects for how long, to show how active we are in our particular business. I have looked into what some suggestions that he had, such as Insightly, Podio, Evernote. Honestly, I think Evernote may be the most user friendly. However, I think Insightly is a bit better, or Podio is even a little bit better as far as tracking who all goes in and out and how effective that will be. Also, the negatives or shortcomings at this time, what I can honestly say is that right now, finance. Finance is key. And we need to talk about finance. And what I need to be doing is pumping money into this business. How can I be part of a business if I'm not willing to finance it? That's on me. I need to take responsibility for that. After bringing that to the floor today, I'll make that on my list of things to do to pump the money in, and you will see on the account who's been pumping some money in. So I'm picking up my part of the responsibility. So that's a negative. I have not been pumping money in. So I'm going to make sure I work on that now so that one of our brothers is not taking full responsibility for something that we should all be sharing into that. And I'll do that today. And that's my little report up to this point.
Okay, what about your three goals for the week?
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. What are my 3 goals for the week? Work improvements. One, since I'm going to be hosting next week, you will be getting my PowerPoint as to what my goals are and what all I think we ought to be doing from a CRO's perspective. That's the first goal. I already put all my bells and whistles together to make sure it looks nice for you guys. Second thing is I'm going to be actually giving a presentation to my CFO first and then to the group per what we discussed about Insightly and which one is the best one, the strengths and weaknesses for each one of those data management programs. That's my second improvement would have money into the organization. So make sure I link my accounts that needs to be linked and put some money in there. I know how much my brother's putting in, so I know how much I need to put in, at least half of that. So I'll be putting that in this month and continuing from that. So those are my 3 goals. 1, pumping money in. 2, presenting a presentation to my CFO later to the group as far as which is the best data management program to use, strengths and weaknesses. And the last piece is going to be making sure that I go ahead and well, write out my presentation and send it out to everybody so I can give my presentation, my email, PowerPoint to you all. So there it is.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Good job on that, Chief Relations and Information Officer. Now, my question to you once again is, well, there's another question, Section D. What
Okay.
Hold
can we
on,
do
hold
to
on, hold
assist
on, hold on, hold on. I just want to briefly say this in 20 seconds or less. Philip, yes, we need to stay on our lane, but we each share responsibility in this company. So we each need to be able to have input towards those points you brought up. And I understand what you're saying in that let's not overstep, but it's organic. And if there's a CEO thing, Brandon has freedom to say it to me. You know what I'm saying? So let's not be too worried about each other in that sense. That's all I want to say.
Okay, I appreciate that, Sam, and thank you very much for for saying that and making sure that the CFO understands that. Um, I will say that on every freeway, if you're going north, south, east, or west, you got 1, 2, and 3 lanes. Everybody's moving the same direction. Some of us are getting off at different places, but we all typically have that destination going north. So there's plenty of room for everybody to move in and out, but just don't get in anybody else's way, right? And like I said, I'm not worried about that. I'm speaking. It's more so speaking to myself. Letting me know what I have to do and how I have to take this seriously and how I have to keep my eyes, on my goal and not get over, into your guys' kind of goals and stuff too much.
But I just want to say
So I
for the
mean,
next
you guys can take the lesson from me if you want.
no. That is 100% applicable. That is 100% valid. And in our private conversation, I've been saying that. But in this next, and Bobby knows this, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and the next 5 years, as we see the growth and the profit and the momentum, we've got to not only have the delicate balance of being able to say, hey, back up and not take it personally, but be able to say, but you need this, and let me show you how, and step back and write it and put it on paper and send it in an email. So when a person looks at it, they're like, oh wow, I do need that, and let me tell the team why. You understand what I'm saying? It's about to be a growth period, a period of flying back and forth to New York, sometimes 6 months in New York, 3 months in Texas because of the windmills. Like, it's going to be a lot happening. So let's not worry too much about that, and we'll be fine. And Philip, you're right, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Thank you though. I don't think anybody else is either, but we're good. Everybody's good. Brandon, what can we do for you this week to assist you in your goals?
At this time, you and I have already discussed this. We probably won't do too much after this meeting, but I will be texting you because I will have information for you that you need to know based on what we discussed about how you and I can talk next week on some things that we need to be working on. You wanted to talk to me about some things. I said I'm gonna send you this information today, and I'm gonna get that to you. But right now, as far as questions and assists, I don't really have any strong assists at this time. As far as questions are concerned, I was going to ask you something about your PowerPoint, about some numbers that I saw. However, I'll save that for the next topic with the final questions and answers. But so far this time, I'm great, brother. If I need any help, I'll be sure to let all of you know. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate that because my other question was, what could Robert do to help you? What can Sam do to help you? But if you said you got everything under control, then certainly
Hmm.
that's fine. We'll keep moving on.
I just wanted, I
Robert,
just wanted, I just wanted to say this to Brandon. Brandon, did you sign up for any of the New York State legislative emails and updates?
No, no, I have not
All right,
signed up for those. I
let's
can
let's
though.
ha- let's have a phone call this week because Philip brought up a very valid point to me,
Hmm.
and that he asked me, and of course I went into my lab and I thought about it. Philip said to me, Sam, and this is why Philip is the COO. He said, Sam, how are we going to protect this? And right away I said, Brandon, Bobby, in my mind. I haven't spoken to you, I've spoken to Bobby. And it's going to be a matter of us doing some legal things, and I'm really going to lean on you for the next, I hope you don't mind, 9 months. Because it's going to require certain legislative and things. And let's just talk about that, okay? Please.
definitely. Robert, Let's talk about what are your accomplishments this week. What are some of the shortcomings, and what three goals do you have to improve the results that you achieved this week?
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. This week, well, as I know I've already put into the drive. You do know that there's three types of different types of drives. You were asking me about them. I should have got to them before, but I finally got you at least a basic list of what we're going to need for a technical drive. It's something different from what we're saving here on Google Drive. Have you taken a look at that list?
I haven't, and I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody actually kind of letting me know, like, what's going on between you and I and everything, and kind of where we are on some things. But this is more so like about you. This is like your own reflection time. So, what positive accomplishments do you have? I got the CFO critical list that he's been needing for the last week. I have I've positively accomplished whatever.
That's what's it.
So, what other accomplishments?
I've got the CFO list. I got you the list that you did for last week. At least when it came to when I come to drives. I have. Oh, I also have the documents and the paperwork that you needed that you had sent directly to here to Arkansas. Which reminds me, what would you like to have me do with that particular information? Did you want me to send it to your location?
I yes. Or actually, I mean, I can come and get it, but so okay, Robert, he's successfully got the critical list, and he's
All right.
retrieved some highly important documents for the company. What
Yes.
other accomplishments do we
Uh,
have?
much as that, that's I've also, of course, as you all know, and you put it to the text messages, I have begun my transfers directly to the account. Of course, putting money into it. I think it's important for us to do it. I've always been saying it,
Right.
so I know I needed to get that set up, and I'm glad I got that set up the last week and a half. Um,
Okay, that's good.
other than that, now what I haven't accomplished, I haven't been able to
Hold on. What have you accomplished with Brandon and Sam? Because I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on, but what have you done critically that's assisted like Sam and Robert?
okay. Unfortunately, Brandon, I guess you and I do need to have a discussion. There's some information I would like to know,
That's the
and I haven't had
point.
a chance to do that. So that's probably my fault. I haven't made that, haven't actually made the contact with you because I know there's a lot of information you've got. Sam, you and I talked, of course, recently, specifically about this business. More importantly, about the future of it. And then Sam was already talking, and was already saying that. But we have discussed a little bit more into the business plan, the marketing model, and understanding exactly what our clients are and what we're going for. We did this just recently as of last night. Um, other than that, that's what I have been able to do for the last week.
Okay, great. Now, what are the shortcomings for that? You said you guys started on some things, but they're still in the air. Um, I guess what are the shortcomings have you experienced this week, or have you experienced any
But
shortcomings?
but Philip, there are no shortcomings because it's organic and we're still growing. Like there are no shortcomings.
Sam, just
I
go
have
ahead.
shortcomings. I have a list of shortcomings.
Okay, look. Let me go ahead and finish what I guess what I need to be saying now. Yes, I have not contacted Brandon. That's partly myself to blame because I do need to start getting in touch with not just you, not just Phil, not just you, Philip, not just you, Sam, but of course you, Brandon, as well, because you've got information. You're part of the team, and I need your help just as much as anybody else does, because we all need you there. So that's partly to blame, and I've been telling myself I need to, but I haven't been making myself do it. On top of that, I haven't been up on it, pushing to get a little bit more information, especially with the marketing area. Again, you guys know about my buddy Chris Fuller. He's got some information he needs to get to me. I haven't been pushing for the last week. That's partly my fault. I haven't been pushing for it, but I will bring that information up to the table, especially next week, as much as I can. Um, for last week, that's that. Those are my faults. Those are the areas that I need to work on. But
Okay.
we can get, like I said, that's our shortcomings for the next week. I appreciate you guys working with me. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be patient with me, and I hope we continue to keep focusing on our future of this business.
Thanks. I'm sure we will. What improvements are we looking at this week? What three goals do you have for this week?
Are we talking about next week or this week? This week's almost over, but
Yeah,
next.
exactly. For the next 7 days.
Okay, thank you. Make it specific. Okay, for the next 7 days, we're gonna. I hope that we make a decision on what type of drive we want for our system, for our NAS. That's net attached storage. That's what that actually means. We and then we can go ahead and get that in the works. In the next week, I want to up a little more than what I've been putting in. I just put in the basic to try it, test it out. I want to put a little bit more in the next 7 days. So I'll be working on that too. Also, again, I'll be pushing for the next week to get more information. Again, Brandon, I'm gonna need your help. So you and I are gonna sit down and talk. Okay? It'll probably be this weekend. We got some time. I'm gonna use it. Okay? So you and I are gonna sit down and talk because I need some information from you. And more importantly, want to use your mind a bit to try to, because I need some information from you to divvy out, especially to the guy that needs it, my buddy Chris, who I'm going to bring along here, and I think you and I are going to talk with him as well. But that's what I have for those are my 3 goals for the next week. Okay.
Thank you, Robert, very much for keeping it simple and clear. I appreciate that.
No problem.
And you've also covered the next segment, which was the questions and the assists. You mentioned that you're going to seek out Brandon's assistance. You have Sam's assistance, and then you and I are going to talk about some things. So, you know, I'm always available for any assistance. And if you guys need anything whenever you guys meet, feel free to reach out to me. Sam, can we talk about what positive accomplishments that you actually made? Not necessarily what you've been working on, but what have you accomplished? And of course, any things that you wanted to accomplish but you didn't accomplish. Those are the shortcomings, or what we're calling shortcomings for the agenda. And then, what goals do you have for the next 7 days?
All right, so I haven't not accomplished any goals I've set. If you look into the drive, there is a listing of my first quarter goals, and it was to secure $7,000 to $27,000 for potential tentative interested investors. I've secured 10,000 people that have made a tentative commitment. And again, we will talk about that on Sunday, me and Philip as the CFO. So other than that, I have not met my goals. And over the next 7 days, my goals are to maintain those relationships, balance them out. So come September, we are sitting on at least for the second quarter, which I have not typed up and put it to the drive yet, but me and Robert will be talking about it, which is going to be 50 to 70,000 over the next second and third quarters. So we have our investments in place. So our CFO and COO and chief information officer, relations officer, so that we have the capital to expand upon the initiatives that we will be putting in place for whatever we need.
Okay, Sam, thanks. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time, your contributions, and your success. Thank you. When you succeed, we all succeed. Same thing with Brandon, same thing with Robert. When you guys succeed, we all succeed. With the final section, I guess it actually goes, or before we get to the closing out the meeting, I guess the operations meeting. And I'm glad that you guys were able to participate in the meeting and everything according to the agenda, which makes it easier. Operations doesn't have to mention any more housekeeping. We all know what the dirty laundry is. We talked about our shortcomings. We talked about, what we need to do to improve this week. We talked about what we're going to go forward and achieve with our goals. And we've talked about, what we did achieve. And the point of that, of what you accomplished, was to just show you that, you get a pat on the back because you accomplished something. And with that accomplishment, you should be happy. You should be proud because you accomplished some things for the company, for the business. And we should always keep sight of our accomplishments, keep sight of, like I said, our shortcomings, and be honest with ourselves and where we're lacking. And also, we should also be able to look for those questions and assists. We should know that we're all here for each other, and we know that. But we should act like we know it. That's the thing. Operations. There's one more. There's two. Actually, there are two more elephants, I guess, that need to be brushed out of the room. The first one is our work log. I can tell you what I did Monday. I can tell you what I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, when I did it Friday, how long it took, all those things. I hope everybody else is using those tools. It's very important for us to, it's easy for us to know what you accomplished. It's easy to know what you had, what that was short or that you didn't accomplish that week. And it was also easier for you to know, what I'm trying to do next week. If you did your work logs, you'd have that part of the section already mapped out. You already know. So typically, I know what I did, what I achieved, and what I didn't achieve, what my shortcomings were. I worked on the agenda. I achieved. I accomplished. Sam's got a question. Sam's got his hands up.
No, no, I just wanted to say briefly that for the past 3 weeks since I started my new job, I'm in a basement. Like, I'm literally in a place where I have a lot of free time to work and save things, but unfortunately, I have no data signal. They have no Wi-Fi, and every time I think something is saved, 4 to 7 days later, it gives me an email because we could do that with our drive to let me know it has not successfully saved. And I'm like, going to be talking with Brandon and Bobby about how to resolve that because it's frustrating. So thank you for bringing that up, but I just want to bring that up.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Like I said, I've accomplished an agenda. I've accomplished getting our books in order. I've accomplished learning what I don't know about finance and accounting, and I have been able to determine where my shortcomings are. I don't effectively know the difference between income, excuse me, without indirect and direct accounting methods, but I need to make sure that I know those in the upcoming week. So my upcoming week goals are to understand the direct method and the indirect method, to look into other finance mechanisms, get more bags of tricks we can add to our little circle of, I guess, a little Simon circle that I put in our PowerPoint, um, and also understand more about how to keep manage our cash flow. Some of those things are very tricky and technical, so I have to make sure that I understand the science and, like I said, the craft of accounting. So those are my goals for the week, is to understand those better and do my job. Operations, yeah, like I said, I talked about those couple of elephants. Make sure operations wise, we I'm disappointed because we're not talking to each other. Two of us recognize that and mention that, and that's fine. It's better than one. We need to leverage that. We need to fix that. We need to talk to each other. Um, this it's stressful for all of us, but we're not all in this by ourselves, but we're all acting like we're the only ones here with our problems, with our situations, with our obstacles and everything. But that is not so. It's not so. So let's we and operations too. Another point. We need to we need to figure out what kind of team we're going to be. We're a basketball team. We're a football team. We're a rugby team. Is there a quarterback? Is there a line that just holds the line? Is there special teams? Are we all on special teams? We need to figure out, where we are on a team, and develop that cohesion. We're strong by ourselves, but how much stronger would we be together if we worked and relied more so on each other? So I hope that within the next month, by the time my time comes back around, there's some improvement in that. And I know we can do it. And I'm always looking. And y'all know me, I'm always looking, and I'm always thinking. And I'm always saying stuff in the back of my mind like, okay, all right. And I'm going to still do my job. I keep on chugging. But when so-and-so's not answering the phone, when so-and-so's late for the meeting, when so-and-so doesn't have the log, when so-and-so's like, whatever, I'm thinking, let me not be that person. But my time comes. I'm not above reproach. It takes a sinner to know one. But I'm glad that you guys, are all here to help me know, that at least let me not let that sin not fall on me. You know what I mean? Let me struggle to be better. And of course, we're all brothers. We're black, and we're also, we also love and worship God. And with that, I'm gonna just ask a simple question: what's in your lamp? None of us all want to admit that we're weak and we like females in the presence of God and in the Lord and in the church, all those good things. But still, you know, with those 7 virgins waiting for the Lord, waiting for salvation, waiting for the bank to rain down on us. But where is the oil in your lamp? Are we sharing it? Are we spilling it? Are we letting it dry? So ask yourself, when it gets hard, is there oil in my lamp? And my oil is INTAH CORP. So with that, we're gonna move on to any questions so we can get the meeting adjourned. Any questions about anything?
I just quick question on your PowerPoint, slide 4. When you did the bottom line of your goal, when you talked about time, environment, political shifts, and changes in competition, when you talk about how our stock is rising, so I'm assuming that's what 0 years to 2.5 years, 3.5 years, 4.5 years, so within a 5-year maximum, our stock is increasing. These are your economic projections, right? They're not like legit numbers in your mind. These are just projections in your mind. Like you're saying, look, hypothetically, our stock within 4.5 years can increase, or is this a percentage? Like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to interpret that real quick so I understand your business projection.
That's fine. Those projections, those numbers are arbitrary. They're just like a percentage. You know, I think a realistic percentage is, you know, we can increase 1.5%, or like 100%. You know, we can start from 1.2, then go to 2.8, and then 4.6. So those are just projections that are inclining or by half or declining by half based upon just what the scale offered me in that model. So
Mm-hmm.
they're arbitrary values.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I was trying
Yeah,
to understand the scale, but other than that, we're good. Okay.
yeah.
I
It was
just.
just the trend, just watching the trends. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
communicate the trends.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I mean, everything is super organized, but yeah, I have no other questions at
Okay,
this
cool.
time.
All right, Robert, you got any questions?
I missed a good portion of this meeting, so unfortunately I didn't see it, but I did get a chance to take a look at your slides, of course, since you sent them to me. So,
You didn't get a chance to look at the books. Was there anything that you needed to that you had any questions about on the books?
all the books.
Yeah, there was we had a deficit, but we talked a little bit about that
I don't.
because
Yeah, I wasn't around for that either. No.
it's why Robert has in his possession the company's corporate record,
Oh,
and
yes.
he has the stock certificates for everybody that is going to be your claim to fame. So whenever those stocks, whenever they're in my possession, I will sign them. Sam is going to sign them, and then they'll be dispersed. And with that comes, just a reiteration of your fiscal and fiduciary duties to the company. So basically, you don't actually owe the 51%, but the company paid for those stocks. So in order for you to really earn them, you need to cough up your 51 cent, or we all need to cough up our 51 cents. But we'll talk a little bit more about those details later.
So, what is our
And
goal?
any
Before we leave, what is
what is
our target operating expense that we want by the end of this year? What is our target? Because if we have a target, regardless of how much we're shooting in a month, we can reach that target. What is the target? Is our target 2,000? Is it 3,000? Is it 5,000? We got to make it reasonable now. But what is our target operating expense?
okay? Well, business unfortunately doesn't operate in square. You gotta throw everything at it. The car, the cat, the kitchen sink, everything. And you gotta go hard. Oh, you got. I'm not transmitting. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying we gotta go hard. It's flipping it. We can't necessarily say if we all put in whatever we can and we flip it, then we have more. Then we meet our goal. So we don't have like a necessary goal. We can't say that we want to have $10,000 in our account at the end of the year. Because as soon as that money comes in, once 5,000 is critical mass, it's enough to buy, maybe a kit. So we won't get to that 10,000 if we just hold on to it, or we'll get to it, but the point of cash is to make more cash. So if we're sitting on our cash, then we're not making any cash.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as it comes in, it goes right back out. And the cost of goods sold is actually a measurement that says how much you return back on $1.
He asked for operating costs.
I know, but that how
No,
much is a kit?
no, no,
How
no, no.
much?
You're not
Those
listening.
are operating costs. How much is how much? I mean, no.
Exactly. We're looking at an ultimate operating cost, not necessarily how much money we're gonna have in the bank.
Okay, that number is not that number can't be set. We can't. There's no such thing as an operating cost.
Okay.
Every year, every corporation's operation costs change.
No, 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 no.
Taxes.
The reason why I'm asking for a set number is because it gives us a goal to shoot for that we can see. Because if we just say, well, everybody thought just throw something for the sake of throw something, we can do that, but we're not working towards it. We're just pushing out as we push out. But we have like a standard goal. Let's say if we say, okay, we want $3,000 by the end of the year. If 3,000 is the goal, and we have, we pushing money. I'm pushing what, $20 a month. He's pulling in $40 a month. Robert already got $40 a month. I'm doing $20 a month. And let's say you and Sam pull in another like 20, $30 a month or whatever. We pumping this out, or $10 a month, or how much money we pumping out to get to that 3 grand. And we look at the very end as we continue to pump out. We go, oh snap, we at 3,500. We're at 4,000. We exceeded our goal by $1,000. At least we have something we can see. It's something that the eyes can see. That makes you shoot for something more. It's like, man, we're reaching the goal. We get to see it. The military does it all the time. The goal isn't just hitting the hill, it's knowing that you can hit the hill. Then you see the markers along the way. It's 5 miles. Dang, I'm at the 4 mile mark. Oh snap. We almost up this goddamn
That's
hill. Let's go, boys. You know.
that's true, but that's true. But the army can't tell you how many men they're going to lose taking that hill. They can't tell you how many Humvees it's going to cost. They can't tell you the price of the missiles.
Actually, they can't. What they look at is based on based on past performance. Of course, we don't have a lot of based on past performance. You're right, but at the same time, they can
They can estimate.
estimate and put a percentage in on how much it's going to take that hill. We can.
Yes, but they're right. And then there's still no guarantee that they are going to take it. So there's no guarantee that they will make the goal.
But they have the goal for a purpose. There has to be an end game, or there's no point in going down that road. It's like people that run a mile can't seem to finish it because they can't see the end until it's right there in front of them.
Okay, well, a corporation runs indefinitely. There is no end. I guess, unfortunately, that's the answer.
Okay.
There is no set goal. How much?
In corporations, they also have profit margins that they seek to have, especially if they're doing it in sales. So somebody may say, we want to make, $20 million in sales. We have corporations who make those projections that they plan on making this much in sales. Well, the goal is to make sure they get that much in sales. And if they get in sales, fantastic. If they don't, it sucks. The goal, that's why they have a goal. It's something for them to reach to. So I'm saying, what's the operating cost we want to reach to? That at least a base, a foundation, a structure that we can reach to. And that way, we know we have, and then of course we can always exceed that, but at least you have something to jump to. If we have nothing to jump
Okay,
to, we're just going.
I tell you what, I can do that, but it's gonna cost. I need to know how much money you made last year. I need to know how much money Robert made, how much I made, and how much Sam made, and then we'll say, okay, we'll take 10% of our income. That's a number. That's a goal. That's the best we can do. Because we can't say, like I said, we want to have. We can try to shoot in 5,000 at the end of the year between the five of us, but or we can try that approach, or we
Well,
can. The thing is, like, there's no limit. That's the thing. There's no limit.
Give
no,
If
no,
we do that, we're putting limits on ourselves.
it's not for a limit. We're not putting in limits. All we're doing is setting just a small bar that we can jump to. We can always exceed it. There's no limit. We're just saying a bar that we exceed to know that, hey, we are marching for something. We're pushing to hit this goal. We're going to pump this money in so we can reach this goal. And then we can go over the goal. But the goal right now, we've got to reach that goal, short term, long term. Let's hit this one. Like I said, we want $3,000 at the end of the year. We're going to pump in enough money to make sure we get that $3,000 mark. We got to hit that $3,000. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't like I said, my with my experience and with everything that I see about finances and financing a company, everything goes in. You spare nothing. If your money is not working, if you hold on to it, your money is depreciating because inflation is automatically eating it up. So when you set when you think about like a locked goal, then you're stuck. Now companies do sales on projections and everything, and they have like a less than favorable, they have an optimistic, and they have a same as last year. So they don't just produce like one goal; they produce like several, goals or several kind of objectives. But like I said, I think objectively the best way for us to do is to say, okay, well, actually, I'll say also the chief business development officer said, you know what, let's see if everybody can commit to $10 a week. He threw that number out there. Everybody seems to think it's a good number. So we did the math. It comes out to be what 255, 2,500 a year or something like that between the four of us. $400 a month, 4 times 12, so it comes out to be about actually 48,000. So that's 48,000 at the end of the 4,800 at the end of the year. That's what gets put into the company. That's called owner's equity. But when you have cash flow going out to buy things, you don't have 48,000. We'll never reach that goal because as soon as it comes in, it has to go back out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you can't, that's why you can't set a goal, but you can set a goal. I guess you can set your own personal goal, or we can attempt to set a goal. But when we put a ceiling on how much we're trying to put in, then that ceiling is we never reach it because it's money in, money out. And unfortunately, I mean, with me being handling the books, I'm the only person that can see like the joy of our sales go up. I can tell you guys, but you guys haven't sat there with the numbers and crunched them and say, you know what, wow, our sales went up. I'm the first person to know that our sales went up 12%, or that our sales went down 18%, or that we made a bad investment, or we're paying out too much dividends, or we made a lot of people rich, or we paid out a lot in salaries. So, I mean, it's maybe that's a question for Robert for the business development aspect. I don't think the CFO can answer that question.
Well, we'll get to that some other time. We'll make it. And at this time, man, if we don't have any more questions and answers, then we'll adjourn because we've already lost our CEO. I guess some things happened over there. Yeah. So
yeah, but
okay.
I mean, like I said, with me, I've already put in 800. If I got another 800, I'm just gonna throw it in there because I got it. I'm just gonna keep pumping it in there. I'm gonna look back after I did it, But everybody can't do that. But you put in whatever you can, whatever you got to spend.
Well, then with that,
and I mean, you guys spend my $800. The company spends my $800. So hey, you know what? It's company business. That's what it's supposed to happen to. I'm giving it to the company to spend.
All right.
So go spend my money. Huh? All right. I guess we're adjourning. Go spend my money.
okay. Well, let's go ahead and handle that.
Right,
make sure that you're not lost. All right, man.
All right,
wait, are we closing with prayer again?
Robert came to the meeting last. I prayed this out last time. Sam's not here. Robert, it's your turn. You the bad son. He's the bad exec.
You're gonna mute this.
Yeah. Shall we pray?
We shall.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for waking us up this morning, giving us another breath of our lives, Lord, that you give us the time to be here today so that we could gather and put these plans together, Lord. I know if it be your will that we continue to strive to be stronger, to be great men and great leaders, and eventually to be what we aspire ourselves and to become. And of course, to continue to dedicate our lives to you. Lord, watch over us all. Watch over Sam, our CEO out there, over there in New York. I know right now he's going through his business, going through his life. Lord, keep him safe from hurt, harm, and danger. And I hope that he comes back to us, Lord. Watch over Philip down there in Dallas. I know that he's going down there, going through some things, trying to get his life together, and we're all trying to work with our center. So watch over him. Watch over, watch over Brandon. Watch over Brandon in Pine Bluff, and watch us up in Arkansas. That you keep us safe from harm and danger, Lord, and that we continue to be able to strive toward the same accomplishments, strive towards achieving something that great, Lord, and that you help us become that. Because I know we are nothing. We all know that we're nothing without you. Lord, we hope that you bless us, bless this business, bless our end game and our focus, Lord, and that you keep us alive and keep us on the earth for the time being, if it be your will, to the next appointed time. This we ask in the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.